And about the other one, the Kundalini of the earth, the Serpent of Light is the name of it. It's important that the people know that this movement is taking place or had taken place because it's already complete, this process.
It's taken 13,000 years to complete this. This is something that was started a very long time ago. It was begun by 3 specific people out of the Ascended Masters, and it's taken many cultures around the world over 13,000 years to complete the entire complex of energy that was necessary to do this. You see, there's all these pyramids that we're sitting out here with in Uxmal. The pyramids that are here, the pyramids that are in Egypt and China and Tibet and all over the world, and other kinds of temples and complexes. There's actually 83,000 of them approximately. And they look like they're unrelated and have nothing to do with each other. That is not true, and it has been mathematically proven to the United Nations that that's not true. They can show how you can pick any pyramid in the world, doesn't matter which one it is, and contained inside of the actual dimensions of that pyramid are the precise location and altitude and the precise geometrical shape and function of another pyramid somewhere else in the world. And when you go there and find it, then that one has contained within it is another pyramid somewhere else in the world, exactly where it's located, even the altitude, and precisely what it looks like, every single window, door, shape, everything that's in it. And so when you see that they're all connected mathematically, it's a pretty big eye-opener. And especially when you realize that some of the pyramids that are describing other pyramids actually came in the future when that pyramid was built, not in the past. And what it shows is that whoever built all of the structures all over the world was a single mind, a single thought. And the United Nations didn't know what to do with that information because it was almost too big for them to even contemplate. But it's true. And so the world is a lot more than what we think. But those complexes were built because in order for any level of consciousness to be on Earth, there is a geometrical electromagnetic field that surrounds the entire Earth. And those are referred to in the books of a lot of people who are talking about this as the grids. And these grids of energy surround the Earth, and there is an entire grid that surrounds the entire world for every single life form, every single unique species. So a little bug walking on the Earth has a grid that surrounds the entire Earth that has to be there in order for its consciousness to exist and to have a physical form on Earth. And so there used to be about 30 million species on the Earth, but because the Earth is basically going through a dying process right now, we're somewhere around half that number right now. So there's about 15 million of these grids around the Earth. But for humanity, there are 3. And there's the one we're in now. There was one that was prior to us, which is what the older indigenous tribes are functioning through. And there is the new one. It's got many names. You can call it anything. It's a unity consciousness grid. Some people call it the Christ consciousness grid. And that grid, it was created synthetically by life, and whoever created all these grids, or these pyramids and everything all over the world, which is necessary in order for human consciousness to move from the level of consciousness that we are in now into the new one that we are about to create. And so there's a great deal of work that has been done, and the stories in this book are about what has happened on that. But simultaneously with that is something else that not too many people are aware of, but but the Tibetans in India and in India and certain indigenous tribes, and definitely the Mayans where we are right now, are fully aware of this, is that coming from the center of the earth there's an energy, and that energy moves like this. It moves like a snake, and it comes out of the center of the earth and it exits onto the surface of the earth in a single place. And once it gets out of the earth, it moves around and it finds somewhere, who knows why, only it seems to know where, and then it coils down into the earth and stays there for 13,000 years, just slightly less, which is all tied to what is called the precession of the equinoxes. That's a cycle. That cycle is 25,920 years long. And so exactly when every half of that cycle, every almost 13,000 years, the Kundalini stays in one location for 13,000 years, and then it moves to another location somewhere on the earth, and then it stays there for 13,000 years. And it's been doing this forever, and or as long as humanity has been on the earth. And wherever it moves to, it causes the Kundalini of the people in that region to rise, and they become enlightened beings. The last time it was in the western mountains of Tibet, out in the middle of nowhere where civilization has never been, is one of the biggest pyramids in the world. It's a solid white pyramid because the ancient ones marked where that place was, and they put this pyramid right over the top of it. And it was discovered, rediscovered in about roughly 1984 or 5, somewhere around in there. And by the way, when they went into that pyramid and I talked to the original team, the only thing, they found no writing, no hieroglyphs, no drawings, no nothing in the entire pyramid, except for in this huge room in the middle of the pyramid, high up in a wall, was one thing, and that was the flower of life, the 19 circles that is the geometrical pattern that describes the universe. But at any rate, because and only for that reason, that because the Kundalini was in that location, that is why that region became such a brilliant light to the world. Why the Tibetans and the Chinese and the Indians evolved so rapidly. Now that has moved, and it no longer is there, and so that energy is gone there, and it is now moved into the high up into the mountains of the Andes in Chile, in northern Chile, and now that is there, it is going to change everything. That is the new Tibet. It is the new India, and it is going to affect the people there. Their Kundalinis are going to rise, and they're going to become the new teachers of the world. But it is a new pattern, because this cycle of the precession of the equinoxes is not a circle that just keeps repeating itself, but it is a spiral. And every time it comes around, the Kundalini changes its frequency, and that in turn releases the new teachings so that we evolve and don't just sit in one spot. And it's interesting that recently the Dalai Lama went to the president of Chile and asked if he and about 10,000 other Tibetans could immigrate and move to northern Chile. Wonder why they want to go there.
Yes, of course.